Well, my name is Weldon Wright, and I represent about 200 boaters on Smithville Lake, and we're wanting to know why we can't get the marina reopened, the marina/restaurant on the little Platte side. Mr. Ridgway made comments in 2013 that we have a restaurant there that hasn't happened. I personally put in an RFP request last year, only to have it canceled. I wasn't told no. I received a cancellation of the project. And as I said, I come representing those people. I'm also the president of the Harborview Homeowners Association, which is right there in the little Platte area. We're just wanting to get the ball rolling. I've been told by purchasing that there's no plans at all for an RFP. So it looks like once again for 2016, there'll be nothing done. I've put together a proposal and a plan, they've got it. I've left messages for Luann several times. I sent an email that was supposed to go to all three of you last week. I've heard nothing, no response at all. I know that several people on the Facebook page for the Smithville Boaters have sent emails and gotten no response. We're a little frustrated.
No, I understand. Go ahead, sorry.
I have a letter to give to each of you outlining what I proposed, and I'd like to meet with all of you at some point in time.
Can I just make one comment here, because you said you're submitting RFPs and you're submitting documents to us right now that you want us to look at that contains your proposals for providing this service?
It doesn't contain the entire document that I submitted. This is the cover sheet outlining what's wrong with your RFP. You specify in this document that anything that's put inside that building is the property of the county, but 2 pages later, you have a clause that states that you can cancel the contract with the vendor for no cause with 30 days written notice to a business person. That translates to, hey, we'd like you to build us a restaurant, we're going to throw you out. It's just not a good business practice.
The reason why I'm speaking up because of purchasing, sometimes we as a commission have to set as an executive that will make a decision as to who will get the RFP. By communicating with you in advance, and I defer to legal counsel on this, and he may be able to explain it more definitively than I can, but by communicating with you in advance, you could possibly be putting yourself in a position where you're disqualified and we cannot vote potentially to give you an RFP. I think that would be bad because we want everybody at the table. But one of the things that I personally found when I used to serve in the legislature, I was always serving as one of about 200 legislators. I couldn't independently make a decision to award someone a contract or not. Now I can cast one vote of 3. And I do have to serve in an executive capacity. Sometimes I have to serve as a judge. I don't want you to be disqualified from submitting something on this because a competitor of yours would come in and say, wait a minute, he had insider information. He had things that access to things that I didn't when I made the plan. And so I understand your frustration, why that any one of the 3 of us may not have answered. But part of the problem is I don't want you to be disqualified when the time comes. I will also say that we were dealing with a second 100-year flood within 5 years. We also have environmental issues as well as an aging dock out there that we have to be very cautious because Smithville Lake is a precious resource. It's a water supply and flood control. We must work closely with our very good landlord, the Army Corps of Engineers. We continue to do so. Having said that, FEMA informed us that Clay County received a number 1 that we never wanted to receive, which is we have the longest declared disaster due to that flood, the longest declared disaster in FEMA history. That is phenomenal that we've been able, and our staff has been able to come back and bounce back as fast as we have. The marinas were not destroyed. It's pretty amazing, actually, everything that we had to deal with for the second time in a 5-year history, and then have the longest declared disaster. But to get back to my original point, and there's another one of these documents up here because I noticed our budget and finance person collected them. We don't want you to wind up being disqualified from placing a bid. So I'm not going to say any more at this point and just defer to legal counsel as to what can be said, what cannot be said, so that Mr. Wright, if he chooses to put in an answer to the RFP, does not face a challenge and get disqualified.
If I can make a suggestion, I've not met Mr. Wright to talk with him, but I got to check with him next week or so.
I would appreciate that. Let me say this though, on being disqualified. Yes, we had a nice 100-year flood last year. You still managed after the flood in the spring to put out the RFP 40-15, which was due, I believe, July 31st. So you put the RFP out there after the flood occurred and while you were recovering from it. Second, you managed, Ms. Ridgway, to negotiate, to my knowledge, and I'm speaking from my knowledge, independently of the rest of Clay County with a restaurant named Fat Fish Blue in 2013, in which you were quoted in the Smithville Herald of talking with them about opening up a restaurant on the land-based side of Little Platte.
They were actually a successful bidder at the time that those comments were made. They were the successful bidder. And again, I really would encourage you to speak with our legal counsel about this, because there's a difference between speaking with or about a successful bidder as opposed to speaking with or about someone who may propose. And
I understand.
I want to make sure that we have as many qualified bidders as possible out there, so defer to legal counsel on that,
Right.
please.
I just told the people that I represent that I would come here today
Appreciate
and
that.
find out why we can't get things started.
Appreciate that.
We've got people interested, but we need to get the county to work with a vendor and make it conducive to both parties. I appreciate your time and you letting me speak.
And I believe that the proper procedure would be for you to keep in touch with our administrator as far as the ability to do any of that kind of work. Is that right, Mr. Administrator? Would you be, who would be the point of contact if you wanted to reopen this issue?
My understanding was commission direction, legal counsel was going to meet with
All
you guys.
Okay, and then legal counsel. So I was going to say, if, what I would like you to be able to walk away with after you talk to staff is to know, to have a clear line of how you would like, what the options are for you to proceed, and beyond that, I don't think I want to get much deeper into it.
I thank you.
Thank you.